What's up, y'all? It's Ty. In this video today, we're going to be taking a specific look at coaches in NBA 2K25 MyTEAM. Are they important? Are they worth getting? Are they worth spending MT on? Or should you guys be looking at locking in the Diamond Steve Kerr? All of those things. Going to be covering it from top to bottom. Who are some of the best budget coaches? Who are some coaches that you may have that may be, useful to run? Or should you just use the Jason Tatum pre-order card that you did get as a pre-order bonus? All of those things. Now, first thing I do want you guys to know and realize. If you have a bronze or silver coach, whatever boost they have, it ends at the end of the first quarter. If you have a gold or emerald, it ends at the end of the half. And that's the most important thing that I can give you. If you have a coach that is not Sapphire or above, I just don't love it. I just don't love it based on that fact alone. Now, with that being said, I don't necessarily love a lot of the Sapphire, Ruby, or even Amy coaches. I just don't love them. Right now, I'm running Chris Finch. He boosts interior, perimeter, and agility. Pretty good coach, I do believe. But the problem is Chris Finch is relatively expensive. The one thing I want to make, one point I want to make before I dive any really further into this is the fact of this. Right now in NBA 2K25, coaches are so important. That interior perimeter +3 boost is so important, is so valuable because your entire team gets it. And so, you know what? You're looking at T-Max perimeter going up to a 90, interior to a 73, agility going up to a 90. You're looking at all of these cards getting just so much better on that end of the court. And that's just for Chris Finch. And so as I got to thinking about this, and we kind of know what the future, at least the near future, of the game is going to be like with the hidden gems. We kind of know it's been a slow rollout, and we know that you're not going to get that many Galaxy Opals or even Dark Matters in the near future. And so that, to me, makes it worth it to upgrade your coach. Now, again, where do you upgrade? Who do you upgrade? How much is it going to cost? All of those things are important. All of those things do matter. But I think it is personal preference. So today I want to break down the Sapphires and Ruby coaches for you guys. Emerald and below, again, I just wouldn't necessarily recommend running just for the sole fact that they end at the end of the first half. Now, again, I guess I'll go through them quick. If you do want to run an Emerald coach, you can, but just run one that you're personally going to like. Maybe Mike Brown because he does boost speed, which is a super important upgrade. But let's take a look at the Sapphire coaches and above. Jason Kidd, again, starts at the team's first possession, ends at the end of the game. Ball handle speed with ball. I don't know. I'm not the biggest fan of those boosts. Maybe you are, but I just think those boosts are pretty mediocre. Right now, he's like 7,000 coins. Not necessarily the most expensive. Just don't necessarily love it for a Sapphire coach. Greg Popovich, pass accuracy and block. It's fine, honestly. And I think I got this pop for 1,000 coins. Those upgrades for 1,000 coins is not bad whatsoever. You're getting pass accuracy, which is an important stat, as well as block, pretty decent. For 2,000 coins, pop is not bad whatsoever. Nick Nurse does boost offensive rebound and block, as well as passing vision. Passing vision doesn't matter. Not necessarily my favorite coach in the game. Should be relatively cheap. Jamal Mosley, pass reception, as well as steal. Not super important. And so that's the one thing I want you guys to realize is even at the Sapphire tier, guys, there's not a whole lot here as far as coaches are concerned. I think when you upgrade to the Ruby tier, that's when the coaches start being like, okay, these guys are next level good. Start with my favorite Ruby coach, Chris Finch. Already kind of went over him. Interior, perimeter, and agility. You like a defensive coach, he is that man. Chris Finch is really, really solid for a defensive coach. He is expensive though. 55,000 coins definitely is not cheap for Chris Finch. And one thing I would try to tell you to do is if you are wanting any of these coaches, try to get them for cheaper than they are going for. And I know it's not necessarily always the easiest thing to do, but if a coach goes for a certain amount, try to get that coach for less than he goes for. So for example, Willie Green, I know right now he's 550. So today, I'm going to be trying to get him for like 400 coins, something like that, and just trying to, again, help my squad and not overspend on a guy like Willie Green. As far as the rest of these Ruby coaches, guys, they are going to be expensive. They're going to be tough to get. Tibbs is 30,000 coins. You look at Michael Malone. He's pretty expensive as well. Jason Kidd, 5,400. I think his price will go down as well. But all these cards are relatively expensive, and that's the thing. You got to try to get them for cheaper. Spoelstra, free throw, interior, agility. It's not bad. The problem I have is when you're looking at Spoelstra compared to Chris Finch, you're really looking at a defense for free throw sacrifice, and I don't love that. Like, I genuinely don't love the fact that you're giving up perimeter defense for free throw. Perimeter defense is a way more important stat, and so Chris Finch definitely is going to be better as far as a coach than Erik Spoelstra. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Next year, be coach Tom Thibodeau. Strength, stamina, offensive rebound, hustle. Pretty gross. Like, I don't necessarily love these upgrades whatsoever for Tibbs. It is what it is. He's a fine coach in the game. I think I've already went over Jason Kidd. Michael Malone. You got close shot passing accuracy, standing dunk passing vision. Another absolutely disgusting Ruby coach. So, most Ruby coaches not good. Chris Finch probably is the best. Spoelstra's not the worst, but that's where I'm at as far as those are concerned. Jason Kidd does boost ball handle speed with ball offensive consistency. Not the worst, not the best. So out of these coaches, guys, the only one I would say is really worth the upgrade is Chris Finch out of the Ruby coaches. If you were to run a let's say a non-Ruby coach, I just don't think the Sapphire coaches are that great. I mean, Kidd's not that bad, I guess, with his ball handle and speed with ball. But I just don't necessarily love the Sapphire coaches. And the problem with the Emerald and Golds is I've already kind of went over this. But the big time problem there is those only last one half of basketball. So that kind of stinks as well. And so it really just stinks that your coaches are pretty limited until you get to the Ruby tier with Chris Finch, who I think is by far and away the best Ruby coach in the entire game. And he is expensive, though. The big thing here is, are they worth locking in for these Ammies? Because when you get here, you got Mark, I don't even remember how to pronounce his name, Daigneault, +4-3, +4 buck, +4 steal. First 3-ball update, again, lasts all game. Now, to get him, you have to lock in all of these coaches. Now, total with these coaches, you're probably, if I had to guess, looking right at 100,000 coins, right around there for Daigneault. Now, I know everybody's initial thought is 100,000 coins is ridiculous for a coach early on. Now, what I want you guys to realize is when you look at the auction house in the market right now, this is one of the more valuable things for 100,000 coins. You guys can disagree as much as you want, but for 100,000 coins is one of your most valuable things. And you don't even have to lock it in. If you just want to go get Chris Finch, that's fine. If you want a defensive coach, Chris Finch is fine, and you can always sell him back. That's okay. But again, I'm telling you, Daigneault's ridiculous. Joe Mazzulla boosts 3-ball midi defense rebound. I don't like Mazzulla quite as much. He probably is a little bit cheaper side by side compared to Daigneault. But to me, I don't necessarily think he's worth the lock-in. Now, here's the situation. You lock in all of those things. It costs maybe like 200,000 coins. You get Steve Kerr, who gives +4 midi, +4 3, +4 free throw, +4 ball handle, and +4 speed. +4 3-ball, +4 speed. By itself is fantastic for Steve Kerr. The ball handle is nice as well. But you have to lock in 200,000 coins for that. I don't know if that's worth it over Daigneault, who gives, +4 3, +4 block, +4 steal. Like, I think Daigneault by himself is the coach to run right now. Because, again, you're sacrificing basically block and steal, because you don't get that with Steve Kerr, for what? Speed, midi, ball handle, and free throw. Like, Steve Kerr is the best coach in the game. I'm not going to sit here and act like I disagree with that. But as I'm looking at the cards, and I know speed is super valuable. So, obviously, again, if I end up doing this, I might end up getting Steve Kerr. But as I'm looking at these coaches, guys, I'm thinking that this is the main thing I need to look at, is locking in this Western Conference set for Daigneault. And that's for me personally. I think Daigneault is going to be a really, really good coach for me. But for you guys, find the coach that works for you. At first, I was like, you know what, Jason Tatum's fine. But as times went on, I'm like, Chris Finch is so much better than him. And then some of these other coaches are way better, than Tatum as well. So find the coach that works for you. For me, the first guy that really caught my eye was Chris Finch, but there are some other Ruby coaches that might work for you. And for me, for 100,000 coins, this coach is fantastic. Boost block, boost steal. Obviously, I kind of do want Steve Kerr at the end of the day, so I probably might end up locking that in. But I want you guys to be informed on coaches within this game. Obviously, right now, the coaches are really expensive. I might wait until the next content drop to do anything as far as coaches are concerned, because right now, again, they are going to be super, super, super expensive. But I want you guys to be informed on coaches. Coaches are super important, super valuable right now in NBA 2K25 MyTEAM, just for the sole fact that coaches are what runs the game. You're giving all of these guys +4 speed. I don't think you realize how important that is at this stage of the game. Tim Duncan goes from, only having 79 speed to then all of a sudden having 83 speed. Tim Duncan goes from having a 48 3 ball to a 52 3 ball. Those things are super, super, super valuable. So definitely spend some time, guys. Go over these coaches. Find the coach that you specifically want that works for you. Just look at what ends when. If you're struggling knocking down free throws, maybe Spoelstra is the guy for you. For me, obviously, do end up want to get Steve Kerr. And with my coins right now, I genuinely think getting a coach is as important as spending my coins on a pink diamond type of player. You guys can let me know your thoughts on it down below in the comments. Drop a like on the video, subscribe if you're new, and as always, man, I love you guys. Have a blessed day.